Good morning, members, once again, and all of you to the today's 39th virtual CP meeting of Andheri Oshiwara CP Study Circle. Before proceeding towards the meeting, today's meeting, I have certain announcements to make. First, as declared by CA Aditya Maheshwari, the election officer who was appointed by the core committee members of AOSC. So as declared by CA Aditya Maheshwari, that CA Jitendra Bhai Kothari and CA Utkarsh Sharma will be the office bearers for the financial year 22-23. And I, CA Deepak Madlecha, on behalf of AOSC, congratulate them to have a great year ahead. So next, I want to make the announcement is that next on 20th of March, so we are having our physical seminar of Andheri Oshiwara CP Study Circle, and the seminar will be kept at the Raheja Classic Club, and the topic of the seminar will be the statutory bank branch audit, and the seminar will start from morning 9 a.m. until 1:15 p.m. and it will be followed by lunch. So I request all the members to kindly make sure to attend the seminar, as it will be as we will be meeting after such a long period of time, and we will be also circulating the Google form. So I request all the members who intend to attend the seminar to kindly fill the form so that we can make the necessary arrangements for the same. And now, proceeding further for the today's webinar, the theme for the today's webinar is Maharashtra. The theme for the today's webinar is Maharera General Amendments Regulation 2021, the new forms 1, 2, 2A, 3, 4, and 5. And of late, the Maharera has notified the new forms through the Amendment Regulations Act, and to explain them in detail and what are the amendments. So we are having a young, dynamic, and prolific speaker, C. Aditya Zantye ji. Sir, I welcome you to our study circle, sir. And at such a short notice, you accepted our invitation. So we are very, sir, we are very privileged and honored to welcome you, sir. And now, now I, without wasting much time, now I request CA Utkarsh Sharma to kindly introduce our today's speaker, CA Aditya Zantye ji. Over to you, Utkarsh.
Thank you, Deepak ji. CA Aditya ji is FCA DISA. He has been in practice since last 7 years. He's currently partner in Zantye and Company and AOSCs and Company Chartered Accountancy Firm. He specializes in the area of RERA advisory and compliances, bank audits, tax audits, GST for real estate sector. He has significant experience supporting companies with complex accounting matters under financial reporting frameworks, including IGAP. He has handled litigation matters before VAT authorities, anti-evasion authorities in service tax, and before Maharera authorities for major real estate groups engaged in SRA and affordable housing sector. He has raised concerns of chartered accountants issuing Form 5 during pandemic through representation to Maharera, has been a faculty at Advanced ITT of Thane branch. He is accountable as co-convener of RERA study group of WIRC for financial year 21-22. He is appointed as treasurer for RERA practitioners welfare associations. With this, sir, we welcome you to our study circle.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
First of all, thank you very much, Deepak sir and Jitendra sir for having me here, and Utkarsh sir for the introduction. And I'm glad that on this Sunday we have a good number of attendance for the webinar also. And since these are new forms, so certain precautions and there is no practical guide. However, we had released a book on the Maharera, Maharashtra Law and Practice, released by WIRC together with Taxman. So that is altogether a complete guide for the real estate sector, together for issuing the forms and everything. but after that the forms have completely changed. However, the context remains the same, but certain additional points they have included in these forms. So as a practitioner, because as a chartered accountant, we have a great role to play in this particular field. So we have a responsibility. Apart from the role, we have a great responsibility towards the end users. Those are the customers who are buying the flats. So we need to take certain precautions while issuing the certificates, and we need to understand the intensity with which we and the mindset which we should have for this particular certificate. So with this, we will start with today's webinar. I will share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Fresh amendments brought with the introduction of the Maharera General Amendment Regulations 2021. So these regulations are amended. Priorly, a lot of amendments were taken place, but till now, before this, we had amendments in Form 3 only. But now, since after these amendments, we have all the amendments or the changes right from the beginning, that is from Form 1 to Form 5. So all forms are completely changed. There are many points introduced and some points are deleted. To begin with, let's see the hierarchy of this list of amendments till date. First, there was Maharera General Regulations 2017. These are the principal regulations wherein it was mentioned that who should certify the Form 5 and such other details. The forms were given in this regulation. These are the principal regulations. Then we had Maharera General Amendment Regulations 2017. There were certain few amendments in this. Next is Second Amendment Regulations 2019 were came. And here also we had changes in the forms of the Form 3. And then finally, they have come up with altogether different forms in this Maharera General Amendment Regulations 2021. So the principal regulations stand amended with this Maharera General Amendment Regulations 2021. Regulation PA4. So these are the important regulations wherein changes are done, and let us see one by one what are the changes. Now, considering the regulation number 3, in this, what was the earlier position is the certificate issued by project architect in Form 4. Form 4 is the form which is to be issued after the project is complete and fit for occupancy, is complete in all respect. So this is the completion certificate. Apart from OC, the authority expects that the architect also certifies that yes, the project is complete in all respects. So this certificate needs to be issued on completion of each of the building or wing of the real estate project. So at earlier position was that we have the architects had to issue this form on completion of each of the building or wing of the real estate project. So suppose I had registered a total real estate project in there. I had registered 4 buildings. So on completion of every building, he had to issue this particular certificate. But now they have amended this, and after amendment, the position is that he has to issue the certificate. He can issue, rather he can issue. It is not a compulsion. He can still issue if he wants. He can still issue the certificate for each building. There is no harm in that. But he can now issue the certificate on the completion of the RERA registered real estate project. So whatever project is registered, जिसका हम लोग को certificate मिला, वो पूरा project complete होने के बाद एक final certificate वो दे सकता है. So this is the regulation wherein amendment is done, and now the position is changed. So instead of building wise, he can issue the certificate project wise. Next is regulation 3A. Earlier position was Form 2A. Now, what is Form 2A? The quality assurance certificate. So here the RERA expects that this quality needs to be certified by the structural engineer that yes, good quality and grade specifications, everything, the materials are used in the construction, and the final product, that is the final unit, is free of any defects, and hence the quality is maintained as per the industry standards and as per the specifications. So this certificate was issued, but Form 2A had to be issued for every quarter. So in a year, it was supposed to be obtained 4 times. So it was somewhere not, I mean to say, not in ease of doing business. So the promoter had to obtain it 4 times. They had to coordinate with the engineers and everything. So it is because once the certain quality grade material is used, it will be used for the entire project. They cannot keep on changing the grade for suppose cement you take. So they cannot keep on changing the quality grade for the purpose of using that in the construction business. So now position, earlier it was to be issued at the end of every financial quarter, but now with the amended position, it can be issued at the end of every financial year. So before 31st March, we can issue this certificate. So no need to obtain 4 certificates in a year. So only 1 certificate for the entire year needs to be uploaded on the RERA website. Regulation 4, the annual report. Now, this is of great concern for us. As a chartered accountant, Regulation 4 is very important for us because we play 2 roles in this real estate industry, that is RERA industry, wherein we have to certify 2 forms, Form 3 and Form 5. So this is in relation to the Form 5. The annual report on statement of accounts in Form 5 to be certified and signed by statutory auditor. Now, this created a lot of confusion because nowhere the term is defined statutory auditor. In Companies Act, we have 2 different things. That is, one is statutory auditor who signs the company's accounts, and other one can be a tax auditor. So 2 different persons can do the stat audit and tax audit. But here, in RERA, there is nothing called as stat auditor. For partnership firms, you can consider as HUF, you can consider as proprietor. So for them, what is statutory auditor? So here, now they have changed this word, and the new name is annual auditor. Now this solves the confusion because the stat auditor of a company cannot or may not have the adequate knowledge, or he is not in any interest in the RERA. So to avoid this confusion, we can have a separate RERA auditor for certifying only the bank statement. That is the Form 5. For issuing Form 5, we can have 2 different chartered accountants. So they have removed this word statutory, and instead of that, they have mentioned annual auditor. Again, there is no proper definition that whether associates or any related party can sign or not sign. So these exclusions are not there, which are there in GUJ-RERA. So they have completely streamlined. They have possibly reduced the errors or reduced the confusion. So here there is, as such, this term again is not defined, but now it clears that we can have a separate auditor and no need of a statutory auditors to sign the RERA audit report. So this is an important change. Now coming to our main part, that is new forms issued. So which are the new forms issued? The first form is Form 1, Architect Certificate. This certificates Form 1, 2 and 3. These are the most important certificates to enable a promoter to withdraw from bank. So these are the certificates which gives you a limit. You can call it as a CC limit. So हम लोग एक limit देते हैं, उसके हिसाब से उसको he can get the amount from the RERA bank account. So these certificates play a crucial role in the field of RERA. So here 2 instances. First, at the time of registration, it is you have to obtain. However, the position will be 0 only because mostly the excavation part, when registering the project, it will go on. Unless he is using his money and then later on he is offering it for sale, then there will be certain construction, but mostly it will be 0% or excavation stage. So here, what are the changes? Earlier in the certificate, if you had observed, we had to give all the details plot wise, latitude and longitude, area, news, north, east, west, south, boundaries, all this in the subject line. So now the complete subject line has been deleted. They don't have to give these details. However, these details are still asked on the RERA portal. So at the time of registration, you however require these details, because plot details, on that basis fees is calculated. RERA fees 10,000 is minimum, but after that 10 rupees per square meter is the fees. So these details however you require, so get it from the promoter or the architect, but they don't have to mention this on the on their certificate. So this has been deleted. Now certificate can be issued for the entire layout. So earlier, like I said, the position is changed that he had to issue building wise. So now this certificate can be issued for the entire layout, but it is always advisable in case of an SRA project or where there is redevelopment and more than 2 buildings are there, wherein one is sale component and other is redevelopment. So separate certificates to be obtained. Why? The reason is Form 3. In Form 3, we have to give details separately for redevelopment, for rehab building, and for sale building. Separate details need to be given. So accordingly, separate certificates is preferred, but this option is been given to him to issue the certificate for the entire layout. List of technical professionals. So he had to certify that these are the structural engineers, these are the professional consultants. So these things are deleted. He don't have to certify. Only promoter has to disclose it on the RERA website. So it is no longer a responsibility of architect to certify this. These 3 points are common in all the certificates: first, second, and 4. So all these engineer and architect certificates, these things are deleted. So here they don't have to mention it. Otherwise, it would have required a duplication of efforts. But those who are registering the project, they should take care of that latitude and longitude needs to be properly mentioned. So earlier we had a base of architect certificate, but now you have to be dependent on the promoter or the architect through their representations. Number of basements, podiums, plinth, slabs of superstructure. So आप अगर certificate देखोगे, so in that certificate, he had to mention numbers of slab. How many numbers of slabs are there? How many number of plinth? How many number of slabs of superstructure? तो ये सारा details देना पड़ता था. अब वो नहीं देना है. It has been deleted, and he only needs to mention what is the percentage of actual work done till the date of issuance of certificate. So this has been a change in the certificate of architect. Now with this, one more and the most important, I think so, is the counter signature of the promoter. So each and every certificate, this is common for all form, right from Form 1 to Form 5. Now they are asking what? That at the end they have mentioned that agreed and accepted by. So here the important thing is your issuance of certificate is not important, but it should be agreed and accepted by the promoter also. So he need to countersign on that particular certificate, and then only it has to be uploaded on the website. Otherwise, it will be considered as invalid. So somewhere this will create lot of issues, or there might be certain issues wherein both of the promoter and the architect, the promoter or other consultants might not agree, or they don't have the consensus. Because as an auditor or as a Form 3 person, we may not certify all the cost, or we may not allow him to withdraw entire amount. So there might be some qualifications in the report also, in the certificate also. So it ultimately the certificate will be valid after the signature of promoter. So this is the current position. So it is always preferable that to discuss the draft certificates with the promoter, to send the draft and then finalize the proper certificate and then upload it on the website. So right now the position is, this is not electronically certified. Like we have in tax audit that we have to upload the report, he has to upload, accept or reject from his. So they have to give a proper reason why he has to reject, why he is rejecting that. So there is a proper track of record. We can call it as audit trail. So here it is completely on the dependent on the consultant to obtain the signature. So somewhere later on there might be changes in this portal, and we will get more electronical approval and like that. So currently we have to obtain the signature of the promoter. Form 2, engineer certificate, registration and withdrawal. Form 2 is the engineer certificate wherein he certifies the actual work done and the estimated cost. So here also he certified on the basis of the observations. Both this architect and engineer are complete. Their analysis is based on the physical observation and technical specification. So here also these details, which are the first three details, are being common in the architect certificate as well as in Form 2. So these three details are common. Next is the most important change. Most important, इंजीनियर सर्टिफिकेट से एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हम लोग को दो चीज मिलते हैं. एक तो एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट as per section 2 definition, right? We get the estimated cost, and as per the engineer certificate we got the actual cost of the work. But if you observe the certificate form 3 earlier, there was no requirement to mention actual cost incurred by engineer. Only the comparison was estimated cost of engineer, that is a construction cost, and actual cost as verified by chartered accountant from the books of accounts. So these two costs were important, but somewhere there was no consensus, or this seems redundant, because estimated cost is the highest amount of the construction, and till the time you meet that cost, always the actual cost of chartered accountant certified by while certifying the books of account, on that basis the cost will always remain low. That is the reason now the position is completely changed, that we will see in form 3. But now the estimated cost definition, I mean to say, in the certificate they have added some important words. Is this estimated cost will be of civil, the MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing and allied works, and internal works as per specification. ये जो important word डाल दिया ना, mentioned in the agreement of sale. If you will all observe, now in 1-2 years, lot of focus is placed on the agreement for sale. Even the Supreme Court had mentioned that there is a requirement of model agreement of sale for all entire country. But somewhere there is still the debate is going on. But lot of focus is being placed on the agreement of sale, because now they are certainly trying to streamline the process, because whatever is mentioned in the agreement of sale you have to give. So here specification, estimated cost सिर्फ उसका ही होना चाहिए जो भी specification है. अगर मैंने बोला ये टाइल्स इतना क्वालिटी, ये जो है इतना क्वांटिटी में दूंगा या फिर इतना ग्रेड का दूंगा, तो उसका जो कॉस्ट है वही एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट यहाँ पे आना चाहिए. So this is an additional word as per specification mentioned in agreement of sale. Form 2, engineer certificate, registration and withdrawal. Again, continuing the engineer certificate. Actual cost incurred to be on the basis. Now we have an estimated cost. Now actual cost. In actual cost, it should be on the basis of the input material or services used and unit cost of these items. Earlier क्या position था? Actual cost incurred to be on the basis of the estimated cost. ये लिखा था पहले certificate. But now अब amended position ये है that it should be on the basis of input material, services used and the unit cost of this item. So engineer अगर properly working नहीं करते होगे, तो somewhere they need start maintaining this things, and you have to verify, because form 3 में ये cost आएगा. So we are completely dependent on the basis of form 2. We have the protection under the use of auditor's expert. But here they need to have a lot of working for this to give a proper basis, because in future if there might be certain visits carried out by RERA or certain authentications, certain verification on the site, so there they should maintain this record that what was the actual cost incurred on the basis of input material and services used and the unit cost. So they need to give the proper explanation. So this is an additional change in the new certificate. Complete project as per approved drawings and specifications mentioned in agreement for sale. So this is an additional line inserted that the project needs to be completed as per the drawings and specification mentioned in agreement for sale. So they again try to link with the agreement for sale. So this is an important change. Specifications, ये word बार-बार. Amendment in cost incurred to be incurred due to deviation in quantity required or escalation of cost. So if there is any amendment, see what people used to do, they were carrying out amendments. The promoters were deleting certain items, doing certain amendments, or there was a deviation in the quantity, but those costs were not properly amended in the certificate and accordingly on the portal, because estimated cost is the main basis for charging any penalty in RERA. So a penalty approx 5 to 10%, right? So these penalty, to decide these penalties, we need the proper estimated cost. As on that date, it cannot be, it should be based on the certain estimation and certain assumptions also. But that cost needs to be on the basis of actually deleted जो है, तो वो estimated cost भी change होना चाहिए. उस हिसाब से any deviation in quantity, any escalation of cost, that needs to be mentioned in this particular certificate. Deviation in material used to be reported. Local authority license number, if applicable, of the engineer, then he needs to mention. Now, the most important change is table C. Table C पहले भी था. उसमें था कि additional, I will read it, list of additional or extra items considered in cost. This was the earlier position. अब इसमें deleted word डाल. So now, deleted word, because of this word, those items which earlier promoter had promised to give, but not, now it has been deleted. And while at the time of registration, the engineer had considered the cost of those items, it needs to be deleted from his certificate. And accordingly, the cost needs to be updated on the website. So this is an important change कि सिर्फ extra items मत consider करो, जो delete हुए ना उसका भी cost delete करो, उस हिसाब से भी amend करो. तो ये एक चीज है, ये ध्यान रखना है जब इंजीनियर सर्टिफिकेट हम लोग वेरीफाई. सी एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट वी शुड नो कि उनके सर्टिफिकेट में क्या है. वी कैन नॉट जज ऑन द टेक्निकल स्पेसिफिकेशन, दैट इज देयर एक्सपर्टीज, बट एटलीस्ट वी नो द सर्टिफिकेट, व्हाट फिगर्स वी नीड टू ऑब्टेन और टेक इट इन आवर सर्टिफिकेट, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Counter signature of promoter, this is common in this certificate also. Next is quality Form 2A, quality assurance certificate. Certificate has been completely changed. Here also first that is the subject part has been deleted. It is not there. Next is now it has to be issued yearly. Like I said, material wise details deleted. Yes, earlier the material wise details were mentioned that cement ये है, ये quality का है, steel ऐसे है, इतना grade का है, वो देना पड़ता था. अब all the construction, I certify that all the construction material, fixtures and fittings regarding to the flooring, electrical and amenities are as per the specifications mentioned in annexure F of agreement for sale. जिन्होंने भी मॉडल एग्रीमेंट देखा है रेरा का, महारेरा का, उसमें annexure F deals with specifications. तो अब इसमें क्या हो गया, जो भी मैंने बोल दिया कि हाँ जो उसमें स्पेसिफिकेशंस लिखा है वो क्वालिटी का है, आई सर्टिफाई दैट, तो पूरा बात खत्म हो गया, वो सारे चीज कवर हो गए. सो आई डोंट नीड टू मेंशन सेपरेटली, जो वो बोल रहा है वो दे रहा है. Whatever promoter is mentioning, he is giving that to the final buyer. So again, they have linked in this certificate to agreement for sale. But what if the specifications are not mentioned? See, many developers at the low scale, having a business at a low scale, they generally don't mention the specification. Then in that case, it should be as per the industry standards. So these two things, where there is specification, it should be as per specification, and where there is no specification, it should be as per industry standards. Counter signature of promoter in this certificate also. Now, the most important certificate for we as a chartered accountant is Form 3, that is CA certificate, right? This is the certificate we obtain at the time of withdrawal and at the time of registration, obviously. So without this, the registration cannot be obtained. So here you need to mention that सब्जेक्ट क्लॉज एक आ गया अपने सर्टिफिकेट में, जो नहीं था वो आ गया उनके सर्टिफिकेट में, जो था वो डिलीट कर। सो सब्जेक्ट क्लॉज अपने सर्टिफिकेट में नहीं था, उन्होंने इंसर्ट किया. सो नाउ व्हाट वी आर सर्टिफाइंग, फाइनेंशियल प्रोग्रेस ऑफ वर्क. You have heard this word quarterly progress reporting reporting system, QPR system, which RERA introduced via the order. But now here also they have made this, that we are certifying the financial progress of work. इसका एक ही रोल था बैंक से विड्रॉ के लिए. अब तक हम लोग को यही रोल दिया था कि बैंक से विड्रॉ करेंगे. But now this role has been given, that subject clause certifying financial progress of work. तो ये सब्जेक्ट क्लॉज में आ गया. Next is why I am issuing this certificate. So first line also they have inserted that I am issuing it for RERA compliance. I am issuing it for RERA compliance means for the purpose of registration, for the purpose of withdrawal, for the purpose of QPR. So these three things I am issuing for the purpose of RERA compliance. ये वर्डिंग है अपने सर्टिफिकेट में, ये वर्ड डाल के. Seven tables are introduced. Earlier इतने tables थे नहीं. Certifying deposit and utilization for land and construction cost of the project. अब पहले ये सर्टिफिकेट का रोल रेस्ट्रिक्टेड किधर तक था? Only for certifying the net amount that can be withdrawn from the bank account. That was the only purpose. But now this certificate requires to certify deposit and utilization. तो हम लोग अभी same line to with the form 5. Form 3 और form 5 का रोल almost same हो गया, rather double check हो गया, because ये भी वही कर रहा है, ये भी वही कर रहा है. इसमें डिपॉजिट एंड यूटिलाइजेशन दोनों वर्ड डाल दिए तो बात खत्म. इसके लिए तो इतने 7 टेबल्स आ गए. सो नाउ द रोल ऑफ फॉर्म 3 इज इंक्रीज्ड, अकॉर्डिंगली इंक्रीज द फीस आल्सो. सो हियर इट इज जोक्स अपार्ट, बट हियर द responsibility casted on the form 3 has increased. If you remember, clarification in 2000 issued by the RERA authority, form 3 is never required to certify the end use. But now with this, we are already certifying with the end use. So deposit and utilization, जो form 5 कर रहा था, हम लोग अभी deposit and utilization हम लोग भी वापस करने लगे. So form 3 वाला भी यही काम करेगा. Now in the certificate also counter signature of promoter. So deposit and utilization हम लोग का वहाँ पे जो line है, that is very important. That I will just read for you. Yeah. I certify that the required proportion of money as specified in the act. What is the required proportion? It is 70%. 70% is mentioned in the act. But what is mentioned in the Maharera rules? It is 100% for ongoing use. So whatever is the position, however ongoing अभी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बचे, जो lapse हो गए या फिर कोई defaults है वो वही बचे हैं. So सारे अभी धीरे-धीरे new projects ही रेरा में जो start हुए हैं वही end होना चालू. तो collected, I certify that required proportion of money as specified in the act collected from the allottees of the project unit as indicated in table C, we will take the table C, has been deposited in RERA. So आ गया अपना deposit certification का रोल, कि मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि जो 70% है वो उसने deposit किया है RERA बैंक अकाउंट में deposit किया है. However, there is no requirement to maintain master 70-30. एक separate bank account as per the act होना चाहिए. So I hereby certify, next line is I hereby certify that the promoter has utilized the required proportion of money as specified in the act collected from the allottees for this project only. हो गया? इसमें आ गया क्या कि ये project के लिए ही utilize कर रहा है, only for land and construction cost. So what has happened? They have used unit, project unit. See, unit is not defined in that. What is defined is apartment. They should have called an apartment. So certain things should be lined with the act, and the definition should be whatever definition is mentioned in that. So that requires, so this certification is required for deposit and utilization. Next is table A, first table, एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, जिन्होंने भी फॉर्म 3 इशू किया है पहले, उनको पता है कि हमने बस एक ही टेबल था, उसमें एक कॉलम में एस्टिमेटेड था, दूसरे कॉलम में एक्चुअल था। अब उन्होंने दो सेपरेट टेबल ही कर दिए, एक एस्टिमेटेड का अलग कर दिया, एक्चुअल का। इसका भी एक लॉजिकल रीजन है व्हाई दे हैड टू डू दिस, बिकॉज आई विल क्लैरिफाई इन द फ्यू स्लाइड्स। Separate table for estimated cost at the time of registration of the project, subject to change. Whenever there are changes in the estimated cost, this needs to be changed accordingly. On the portal also, it needs to be changed through application for change. So only estimated cost of construction by engineer to be mentioned. This is the reason. This is the reason why there are two separate tables. Because पहले हम लोग का एक ही जो बड़ा टेबल था उसमें एस्टिमेटेड और एक्चुअल था, लेकिन एस्टिमेटेड में इंजीनियर का आता था, एक्चुअल में सीए का था। तो एक्चुअल का सीए और इंजीनियर विच एवर इज लेस, ऐसे पोजीशन। बट अब यहाँ पे सिर्फ एस्टिमेटेड सीए तो नहीं देता है कंस्ट्रक्शन का, ही कैन नॉट सर्टिफाई। सो हियर ओनली द कॉस्ट सर्टिफाइड बाय इंजीनियर, दैट इज द एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट सर्टिफाइड बाय इंजीनियर एज एविडेंट इन फॉर्म 2 needs to be mentioned in this table. Next is provision for cost incurred for additional items as per table A and B of the engineer certificate. तो यहाँ पे एक उन्होंने फील्ड डाल दिया कि जो भी एडिशनल कॉस्ट है, जो भी एडिशनल कॉस्ट है, मैंने जो उसमें बताया ना, लिस्ट ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा एडिशनल आइटम्स, डिलीटेड आइटम, वो सारा चीज उन्होंने इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दिया एस्टिमेटेड में। तो एस्टिमेटेड में भी है ये, और एक्चुअल में ऑब्वियसली जो कॉस्ट इंकर हो चुका है, एडिशनल हो चुका है, वो दोनों जगह पे आए टू टैली। सो योर एस्टिमेटेड में भी आएगा और ये एक्चुअल में भी आएगा। Pass through charges, they have clarified here. This position is right from the clarification earlier also, that pass through charges or indirect taxes should be excluded. It cannot form part of your project cost, or because it is a pass through and you collect it and remit it to the government. Yes, but now the position for the developers is that they cannot take the input credit. So input credit agar nahi le sakte, that means it hits P&L and it becomes your ultimately the construction cost. So that can be taken because it is a cost. I am not adjusting it against any liability. Can be revised through correction application by being 5,000. This estimated cost. Yes. Next is absorbed cost of machineries and equipment. So absorbed cost of machinery. पहले क्या था? मशीनरी ले लिया, उसका कॉस्ट डाल दो। वो मशीनरी जिस भी प्रोजेक्ट में यूज हो रहा है उस कंपनी के सब में वो कॉस्ट आएगा। तो ये कुछ बेसिस नहीं था। अब वो मशीन जितना इस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए यूज किया है उतना ही एब्जॉर्प्शन कॉस्ट of machineries and equipment needs to be mentioned. So this is an important change, that not the entire cost, entire purchase cost can be used for this particular project. जहां जहां पे वो यूज हो रहा है उसमें वो कॉस्ट आएगा। नेक्स्ट टेबल, जैसे एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट का अलग कर दिया, एक एक्चुअल कॉस्ट का टेबल अलग कर दिया है। So separate table for actual cost, and here now here the important change, minimum of actual cost of construction as certified. See, अब देखो पोजीशन पूरा चेंज कर दिया। पहले कॉस्ट कंपैरिजन था वो एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट ऑफ इंजीनियर और एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ सीए, बट नाउ एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ इंजीनियर एंड एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ सीए नीड्स टू बी कंपेयर्ड। सो दिस इज द करेक्ट पोजीशन। Because अगर मैंने 100 का मटेरियल लिया and I'm actually using 80, so I cannot enter the cost of 100 on the in this actual costing. So now the position is 100 or 80, whichever is less. So engineer बताएगा कि कितना मटेरियल यूज हुआ, अगर वो कम है तो उतना यहाँ पे आएगा। So this is an important change. Hence there are two separate tables, estimated and actual cost of the project. Provision for cost incurred for additional items as per A, like I said, in estimated and in actual cost. Pass through charges here also, actual cost not to be included. Absorb cost of machineries and equipment on the actual basis, जितना भी absorb हो रहा है वो यहाँ पे आएगा। Table C, statement for calculation of receivables. So this table right from the beginning it is there. It is not changed. It is right from the beginning we have table C. So statement for calculation of receivables from the sales of real estate. So यहाँ पे we need to certify the sold inventory and unsold inventory. Unsold inventory on the basis of RR value, sold inventory on the basis of a letter of allotment and an agreement for sale. So this needs to be mentioned. It is not changed. The position अब इन्होंने क्या कर दिया? अगर आप earlier certificate का heading देखोगे, तो statement for calculation of receivables only for the ongoing projects. Ongoing projects मतलब defined in proviso to the section 3. Which are ongoing as on the commencement of the certificate have not obtained the completion certificate. So those projects are ongoing project. But now, और बाद में उन्होंने क्या किया? एक accepted practice as a business practice, they had applied it automatically through the disclosure of sold unsold to all the projects. So now they have changed this. वो remove कर दिया ongoing project. अब ये सारे projects के. But rules are not amended. In rules, it is only applicable to ongoing projects. Here, sold inventory. Yes, sold inventory and unsold inventory details are mentioned. Pass-through charges, here also you don't have to include. You can open a separate account and through that you can withdraw the pass-through charges from the bank account. This was the only change in this particular table. That is the name itself. Comparison between balance cost and receivable, right from the beginning ongoing projects के लिए ये बहुत important role play कर रहा था, लेकिन बाद में कुछ लोग new project के लिए भी apply करने लग गए, but इसमें अब ये table new project के लिए applicable है. This table is applicable for new projects also. Only one single point, that is the 5th point in this particular table. So your estimated balance cost to complete, balance amount of receivables sold and estimated unsold sales. So total estimated receivables we get, and this 70 or 100% check, that is the 5th point, is only for ongoing projects. Rest all the points for 1 to 4 are common for new and ongoing. Only the 5th point is applicable to the ongoing projects. So 70 or 100% checks if ongoing projects defined under section 3. And all the projects which were not there at the commencement of the act, and now they have only 70% is applicable for them. Applicable to all projects. Yes. Now here starts the important changes, wherein the entire table is changed. Table ही था ही नहीं, तो अभी वो आ गया. ये table E introduce किया, designated bank account details. तो अब ये क्या है? इसमें अपने को एक टेबल दे दिया. What are the particulars? Designated bank account details. Okay. Actual amount till date of the issuance of first certificate of the particular after the amendment. That is in December 2021, the amendment came. After that, whatever certificates you will issue, this table is, these new forms are applicable. So your actual amount till date of that certificate from start of the bank account. Start of the bank account and not from the earlier certificate date. So you're right from the beginning, you have mentioned to till date. Okay. Opening balance आ गया, deposits आ गया, withdrawals आ गया, closing balance. अब तुम लोग बोलोगे कि इसमें तो डेवलपर गलती से दूसरा अमाउंट भी ले लेता है, ये भी ले लेता है. That needs to be given in the by way of reconciliation below. But here the closing balance should exactly tally with the bank statement available as on that date. So you obtain the bank certificate, or as on that date, ये balance match होना चाहिए. Whatever reconciliation you have to give कि इतना इसमें इतना ही project related amount लिया है, that you can give. But this is only relation to the designated bank account details. Table F. इस पे promoter body is not very happy. There is certain debates are going on, but still, as on date, the current position is that this table is there in our certificate. We have to certify. However, there is no responsibility on certification of the first two things because it is very hypothetical. It is not existent, and whatever he will give, we have to be dependent on that. Because we as a chartered accountant, unless we certify the financial accuracy of that, we cannot certify the estimated cost, right? So estimated at the time of registration, proposed and indicative. So this is a at the time of registration ही उसको देखना है कि कैसे ये project carry करे. See, in SRA we give to the financial for obtaining financial NOC. Those who are aware about SRA, so there we give the cash flow. How he will construct the rehab building. So how he will construct. So here also they are obtaining how he will arrange the finance. कैसे वो करना चाहते हैं. तो उसमें से उसको बताना पड़ेगा ओन फंड्स कितने लाएगा, बोरोड फंड्स कितने लाएगा और कस्टमर रिसीट्स कितने लेगा. So these three comparison will give you total funds, estimated cost तो है, that will give you the true picture कि ये project viable है या नहीं. So this will keep on changing. ये तो at the time of registration constant रहेगा कि उसने क्या estimate करके शुरू किया project, क्या mindset से शुरू किया. For this, it is very important. This figure is very important. Next is proposed or estimated as on the date of the certificate. So this will keep on changing based on the estimated cost. अगर उसमें कुछ amendment आया DC rules की वजह से FSI बढ़ गया है तो बहुत सारे amendments आ गए, तो अगर वो cost बढ़ गया तो यहाँ पे वो आएगा. But we are only responsible for the actual cost as on date of the certificate, because that is the thing which we have certain things to verify. These two things are one is based on the engineer certificate, other is based on the hypothetical figure कि वो कैसे arrange करेगा. But the most important thing is for us is form point number 4 कि हम लोग ने as a form 3 chartered accountant कभी certify नहीं किया. Customer receipts तो form 5 कर रहा था. अब customer receipts used for the project ये भी अपने को ये figure mention करना है. So this somewhere includes lot of calculation. We have to obtain again the list and we have to, because अगर तुम लोग बोलोगे ये तो फिगर अपने को ऊपर से मिल जाएगा कि सोल्ड इन्वेंट्री का कितना कलेक्ट किया. You see the word used for the project. It is not collected from the customers. It is used for the project. So that needs to be taken care of, that how much is used for the project, and you have to mention this figure. Or if for obvious reasons the amount which is collected has to be used for the project. But in some certain circumstances they can differ. So here, the borrowed funds, it is not the entire borrowed fund, okay? It is only till date how much he has utilized actually, not the sanction amount, how much he has utilized till date, that needs to be mentioned. Earlier, we were not having any table for our comments or observations. See this table, out of all the table, this will play very important role. क्योंकि यहाँ पे अपन अपने सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस डालेंगे, सारे कमेंट्स लिखेंगे कि किस बेसिस पे हमने ये सर्टिफिकेट दिया है. सो इफ ऑन अ लेटर डेट दिस सर्टिफिकेट इज चैलेंज्ड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द कॉस्ट और आपने ये लिमिट कैसे दिया, सो ऑन दैट बेसिस वी नीड टू मेंशन द ऑब्जर्वेशंस. सो ये टेबल उन्होंने अभी एक सेपरेट डाल दिया. लिखो जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस लिखना है, जो भी कमेंट्स लिखना है वो आप लोग इस टेबल में मेंशन करो. जनरल कमेंट्स that can come is related to any exception you observe in land cost and construction cost, any discrepancy in bank account operations, sold and unsold inventory related any issues, pass-through charges, indirect taxes included in the unit consideration. So these can be mentioned here, and even deposit. Now you have deposit and utilization of customer receipt. अगर 70% account में नहीं लेके 30% में ले लिया या ऐसे कुछ किया, so this is an observation. So you have to be safe. If you are including particular figure in your certificate, you need to mention this. So don't forget to mention whatever comments or observations are there on the basis of which you have issued that certificate. And any other exceptions related to project, whatever exceptions you have, you can mention in this particular certificate. Next is Form 5. So Form 5, I will take Form 4 at the end because in hierarchy it is at the end only. So Form 5, annual report on statement of accounts of the promoter. So here we have to concentrate on the bank account, that is the RERA designated bank account. We don't have to comment on the 30%. We just have to comment on the 70%. We have to verify the books related to that 70%. Where it has been utilized in everything. So here also in the subject clause, in the subject clause, one important change is made. Subject clause तो इसमें था, लेकिन पहले सिर्फ 2 वर्ड थे, यूटिलाइजेशन एंड विड्रॉवल. अब इन्होंने एक वर्ड ऐड कर दिया, दैट इज डिपॉजिट. सो सब्जेक्ट क्लॉज में आई एम सर्टिफाइंग डिपॉजिट, यूटिलाइजेशन एंड विड्रॉवल. व्हाट फॉर्म 3 सर्टिफाइंग? डिपॉजिट एंड यूटिलाइजेशन. सो समवेयर देयर इज डबल चेक, राइट? सो यहाँ पे ये दोनों चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स अभी कॉन्सेंट्रेट करने वाले हैं कि कितना अमाउंट लिया, कितना यूटिलाइज किया. सो दिस 2 एस्पेक्ट्स ध्यान रखो और उस हिसाब से इशू करो. सी nowhere we are going to penalize the promoter. It is, see, he is carrying out the project, he is giving the units to the buyer, right? So he needs money, but somewhere that we have to just be assured that that money is money लिया है ना, पैसा लिया है, तो वो उस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए ही यूज होना चाहिए. अपना इतना ही रोल है. अगर वो यूज कर रहा है, वेरी वेल, we will give him the full limit. Take the limit. It is your money only. But utilize it and give the possession to the buyer. That is our, rather all the stakeholders are only their wishes that the final buyer should get his unit. So accordingly, our responsibility is that jitna amount liya hai, utna usne utilize. Keep that in mind and use. So there is no risk. If the project is going smooth, you have to check you are the, I call them as the real estate project doctor. Because we verify, we test the nerves of the project. During the project itself, we as a professionals understand इसका क्या stage चल रहा है और उसका financial history, अपना background, उसके projects का carry करने की capacity, सब कुछ है अपने पास. So we know how he will do, कैसे होगा. तो उस हिसाब से अपने को certificates में अपने changes लाने. That's 4 tables and 2 sub tables are introduced. Shortfall deposit amount to be provided. अब ये क्या है? उन्होंने एक टेबल दे दिया डिपॉजिट. तीन चीज अपने को सर्टिफाई करना है, डिपॉजिट, विड्रॉवल एंड यूटिलाइजेशन. सो दे हैव गिवन 3 टेबल्स. उसमें फर्स्ट टेबल है डिपॉजिट. अब डिपॉजिट में वी विल टेक द टेबल आल्सो. सो वी नीड टू टारगेट आवर फोकस ऑन द शॉर्टफॉल. कि शॉर्टफॉल क्यों है, शॉर्टफॉल डिपॉजिट क्यों है, तो वो अपने को सर्टिफाई करना है कि has the required proportion of money collected from the allottees, that is 70% collected from the allottees of the project units as specified in the act, deposited in bank account. If no, specify the amount how much is not deposited. So that needs to be mentioned there. Date wise details of excess withdrawals to be provided. जैसे डिपॉजिट्स के लिए शॉर्टफॉल, वैसे एक्सेस विड्रॉवल्स है तो उसके लिए डेट वाइज देना है. अब ये थोड़ा क्रुशियल पॉइंट हो गया कि डेट वाइज डिटेल्स मतलब क्या. नियर अबाउट 3,500 प्रोजेक्ट्स वर लैप्स्ड. सो दीज 3,500 प्रोजेक्ट्स लैप्स्ड मतलब इन्होंने मोस्ट ऑफ द कंप्लायंसेस अभी उसमें से डिलीट हो रहे हैं प्रोजेक्ट्स जो लोग कंप्लाई हो चुके हैं, बट स्टिल देयर इज अ कंसिडरेबल number of projects which are lapsed. So in these projects, mostly the issues are they have not complied with the provisions of the law. Basic form 3 bhi nahi liya. So in this case, you don't have the form 3. That means whatever withdrawal he has done till the date of, अगर आपके पास आज आया वो प्रमोटर मुझे फॉर्म 3 दो, तो मतलब पहले के जो सारे withdrawals है, it is not under the umbrella of any form 3. So those are excess withdrawals. So that means date of withdrawal and date, RERA is expecting date of withdrawals though. कि कितने excess withdrawals. So somewhere this process is very cumbersome and you have to do calculation. You have to see in the bank account कि कितना है date. मैं I would suggest that अगर वो period है तो इस period से इस period तक इतने withdrawals उसने excess किए ऐसे. So date wise mentioning withdrawals is very, otherwise we have to join an annexion. So it is very cumbersome and somewhere we have to find ways to properly mention these details. So all these withdrawals which are not under the form 3 limit are excess withdrawals. That needs to be processed. So 2 subtables which I was talking about. First subtable is this, in withdrawal. We are going to see that 3 tables, but there are 2 subtables. In this first table is for related to withdrawals and second table is related to the non-utilization of the project cost. So what is that? They have mentioned that I certify that the has utilized the amounts, promoter has utilized the amounts withdrawn from designated bank account towards project cost only, as specified. If not, specify the thing. Now, ऐसे हो सकता है कि उसने एक्सेस विड्रॉवल्स किए, पे ऐसे होना जरूरी नहीं है कि वो एक्सेस विड्रॉवल्स किए है, पर वो उसने प्रोजेक्ट के लिए यूज नहीं किए. So these are two different things, right? Even if the amounts appear in excess withdrawals, it may not appear in the excess amount, this non-utilization of the for the purpose of project. So these are two different things. उसने within the limit भी withdraw किया है और प्रोजेक्ट के लिए नहीं यूज किया तो सेकेंड टेबल में तो आएगा. लेकिन अगर उसने एक्सेस विड्रॉवल किया लेकिन प्रोजेक्ट के लिए यूज किया तो सेकेंड टेबल में नहीं आएगा. So these keep in mind while issuing the certificate. So we have covered the two subtables. Counter signature on the audit also, they are expecting the signature of the promoter that you should agree. First table is table A deposits. You certified total amount collected from the allottees, percentage of amount to be deposited as per that, right? I've taken 70% on 100%. Amount to be deposited as per Act. I've taken 70%, 50 ka 70. And you have to certify this for this fiscal year and cumulative year total, right? Amount to be deposited as per the Act 35. Total amount deposited in the designated bank account is 30, right? Suppose मैंने 30 ले लिया कि मैंने इतना एक्चुअल में deposit. So percentage of amount deposited is 60% because 30 divided by amount collected. So 50 amount 50 or 30. So it is 60%. And there is a shortfall of deposit that is 5. So below there is a line they have mentioned that I certify that utilize and there is a shortfall of so and so amount. So you have to mention that amount as 5. So whatever details are given, it is relating to the 70% account. So here you have to mention certify that deposit जितने act में लिखा उतना उसने deposit किया. Table B withdrawals, opening balance of designated bank account, total deposits, total amount withdrawn, closing balance. There also in form 3 we certify the same thing, but here from in form 3 it is from the beginning of the account. Here it is for this fiscal year. So for this fiscal year and for the project till date. So this is the only difference. Both and closing balance is as on the date of certification of the form 5. So ये पूरा साल का आएगा, उसका जितने सर्टिफिकेट्स लगेंगे उस हिसाब से वो पोजीशन चेंज होते जाएगा. Next is table D. Any comments or observations of CA that is issuing form 5. Any exceptions relating to deposit utilization and withdrawals needs to be mentioned here. Any discrepancy in form 1, 2, and 3. Other exceptions related to project. All these things needs to be mentioned because as a form 5 auditor, as per regulation, they have mentioned that if there is any discrepancy in form 1, 2, and 3, you can comment on that in your form. So you can mention that based on that, there might be any disciplinary action carried against the professionals. So form 5 का responsibility at the top होता है क्योंकि पहले अलग था responsibility की अभी हम लोग utilization certificate अब form 3 का भी वही लेवल पे कर दिया उन्होंने कि ये भी वही कर रहा है वो form 5 भी ये कर रहा है सिर्फ difference क्या है form 5 को 1, 2, 3 पे comment करने का authority थी. So this is the role of the auditor. So that is the only point of differentiation wherein I can comment on the other professionals' work, whatever they have certified in my form. So this has been given in the regulation number 4. Last form. ये फॉर्म लास्ट है और ये अगर दे दिया तो प्रोजेक्ट खत्म, प्रोमोटर का झंझट खत्म एंड दिस मीन्स दैट he has given the position to the buyers. But even after issuing the form 4, many people are under wrong impression that the project is complete. No, If you will read the conveyance related order, then promoter has to quarterly update the status of conveyance even after completion of project. So till that time, it won't be considered as complete. This is an important thing which many professionals forget, because it has clearly been mentioned, till the time conveyance is not done, you have to upload the quarterly status of conveyance on the portal. So plot details are deleted. Now the architect can issue, like I said, the amendment in the previous 2 slides, that this certificate can be issued for the entire project. List of technical professionals deleted. Yes. Now the important word added in a line. Earlier क्या line था कि I am certifying this on the basis of certificate from structural engineer. तो on the basis of एक बार बोल दिया तो structural engineer ये क्या मैंने देखा हो गया खत्म. No, on the basis of inspection, ये word डाल. So you cannot go away with your responsibility. On the basis of inspection and certificate from structural engineer, you have issued this certificate. And the project is complete as per agreement of sale. So whatever is promised to buyer is got. अगर क्लब हाउस लिखा है, कुछ amenities दिया है, कुछ भी लिखा है agreement for sale में, तो सब कुछ देना पड़ेगा और तभी फॉर्म 4 can be issued. So this is an important change कि अब देखो यहाँ पे ना, right from the beginning I'm trying to focus on that how much professionals importance in this particular act, because in income tax act you are answerable not directly to the public, on GST also not directly answerable to public, but here you are answerable to public, because now these documentations are visible on the portal. Except for form 3, all the forms can be easily downloaded from the portal. It is available for public viewing, and if there is any discrepancy, I have started seeing that even many cases have made form 5 as a part of the documentation, as a part of exhibit while filing the complaint. So sooner or later there might be issues that यहाँ पे लिखा है ये of chartered accountant ने तो certify किया है, इसने utilize किया है, लेकिन project तो इधर तक ही. So certain things, and you have the letterhead address. So I fear that many buyers might come also to the offices of the professionals, because it is easily available on the website. Earlier they had to file the form. They have to file the form 6 for the public documentation, to obtain the public documentation for inspection. But now it is easily available, except for form 3. अगर form 3 भी हो जाता तो सब कुछ link बैठ जाता. Even the departments would know that what is going on and everything, and right from the beginning. See, there is no issues, but certainly some things are disclosed to the buyer which may not be understood. Unless you are a professional, you may not understand that, and unnecessarily there might be issues to the professionals also who are issuing the certificate. So here we are giving the certificates for that buyer should get the flat, because till now there is no action on the any professional except one small case wherein the architect was held responsible even though OC was there. Even though OC was there, he had not certified this. He had certified the certificate that even though it was not fit for occupancy, then also he had given form 4. So certain disciplinary action was taken against him, but till now there is no case wherein chartered accountants or any other engineers are any action can be is taken on them. But yes, disciplinary actions we have to be more focused. That is the reason certain comments or observations are very necessary. What we are certifying is on the we are giving reasonable assurance, and whatever amount is utilized, see what he is doing ultimately we don't know, but we are giving a reasonable assurance that yes, the amount is utilized, and we know. बिल्डिंग के प्रोग्रेस से भी समझता है यार, कभी बिल्डिंग के बाद जाके देखो. Many chartered accountants don't visit the site. Why? Visit once and see the locations, where it is exactly, what is being done. Physical observations will give you a lot of idea in the cases of the real estate projects. Founder signature of the promoter also it is required. Next is This is an important thing because there was a lot of confusion whether these certificates were required to be submitted to the bank or not. What does RERA Act say? Whether you have to submit? Yes. Maharera rules? Yes. FAQ had said that yes, original copy to be retained and copies to be submitted to bank. Circular number 3. Change the position. No, only self-declaration to be submitted. But now, with revised circular number 39 2021, it superseded circular number 3. It has been deleted, and yes, now the position is in line with the rules and reg that yes, submit to the bank at the time of every withdrawal and copies online to Maharera. So copies to be submitted online to the Maharera, and you have to submit it at the time of every withdrawal. Now people are confused. Every withdrawal मतलब क्या? मतलब वो जो limit है वो खत्म होने तक देने का जरूरत नहीं. वो एक बार खत्म हो गया, fresh certificate is required. See, many banks like SBI, HDFC, they ask certificates, but few banks don't ask. In that case, you should intimate that as per this and circular. Recently, Maharera Honorable Secretary had given this public announcement in the newspaper to all the banks that you have to obtain the certificate. So slowly and gradually, they will obtain the certificates. But those who are not obtaining, at least from your part, at least from the promoter, it is not your responsibility. It is the responsibility of promoter. But as a chartered accountant, you should make him aware of that. You need to submit it to the bank. That's it. These are the recent circulars. I have given this in the PDF also. All the PDFs are attached. In this, I don't think so. Yeah. First, those are only relation to the forms. I will take that. Disclosure of sold or booked inventory, corrigendum for the order of sold or booked inventory. Earlier, there was a different format for disclosure. Then they changed that format within 3-4 months. In April, they come up with a format, and in June, they changed that format. And this disclosure should always match with Form 3. Should always, at any given point of time, it should match with Form 3. However, see, we issue it which quarterly or the limit, whichever is earlier, so we will issue Form 3, and on that basis, इसमें जो compliance करना है उसको disclosure का, as and when the sale is done, is been done, ऐसे लिखा है उस particular order में. यहाँ पे उसको follow करना है, तो वो जैसे जैसे sale होगा, इसमें वो disclose करते जाएगा. So that is very important. This circular is very important for the chartered. Declaration about commencement certificate is very important for registering on the portal. Then hearing of complaint, these are complaint relating things, and everything is related to, not related to forms. Yeah. So another important thing is quarterly update for registered projects. This 11. So 30th July, here you have to quarterly update, that is QPR. So till now, you have to just abide by the dates because it is not been strictly enforced as said in that particular order. But from your end, please keep it safe and you go on uploading whatever certificate diya hai to upload karne ko kya. See, once we are assured and we are sure, then only we issue the certificate. So it is given, then you have to upload it on the portal. So a promoter has to upload it and comply with quarter. Yeah. Report from CERSA, if there is any encumbrance and everything, you have to download that. Any amendment in CERSA was that earlier it was also to be obtained LOT wise, which was very difficult. So now they have deleted that and it is only for project wise. See, this execution of registered conveyance deed of real estate project, here it is mentioned that even though after Form 4, you have to do the quarterly compliance till the time conveyance is obtained. Submission of Form 5 is extended till 31st December. This was extended, one-time extension was given for submission of Form 5. Here, 29 December 2021, circular, submit form number 1, 2, 3 to the bank for withdrawal from designated bank account. This is very important. New forms are available. There is a separate tab also to download new forms. They have altogether given in PDF format. You can easily convert, and in WhatsApp also Excel formats are there many. So you can take that new formats and you can certify the same. So thank you. This was all about the forms, and we can open the session for any queries or discussion.
Any questions, participant, please post, or you can ask directly also.
I think so. There is a question in the
Chat box. One question from Aditya Maheshwari. Is the builder collecting 100% booking amount in RERA designated bank account, but subsequently transferred to normal bank account, but fund used for project only? How to report it? Form 5.
Okay, so in this case, if he is conducting 100%, then you have to give a reconciliation that how much is against the agreement value and how much is the pass-through charges. So that needs to be properly mentioned, and whatever reconciliation, ultimately we are responsible for 70%. So he's not, it is not compulsion on him. It is that he can exclude it and he can take that amount in the separate bank account. But if he's collecting it cumulatively in a particular bank account, then you have to mention the component which you are certifying. So exactly you should mention that this is against the agreement or letter of allotment, and these are the pass-through charges. Then there won't be any issue.
But the subsequent withdrawal is in his regular bank account.
Yes. So what will happen? You will give him the limit. And what many people are doing, even there are 3 accounts: master account, 70% and 30%. So what banks do, 70% को certificate दे दिया तो 70 से वो लोग 30 में ले लेते हैं, because 70 के लिए वो उसके पास शायद मेरे ख्याल से चेकबुक नहीं होता है, तो 70 से directly 30 में लेके ही खर्चा होता है ultimately. So if it is within that certificate limit, then it is fine. He can take that amount to other and he can spend it to the bank account. However, it will increase our work. That's it. But you can obtain the details from him that ये कितना amount है, कितना transfer कहाँ से गया है. अगर वो subsequently दूसरे account में वापस कर रहा है, so there might be some diversion of income to other projects. So that should be out. As far as 30% में लेके project के लिए कर रहा है, that is fine.
Actually, the bookings are very slow in that project, so promoter are infusing funds himself. मतलब diversion तो है ही नहीं है इसमें.
तो फिर कोई issue ही नहीं है. जहाँ पे see, even RERA is very lenient on those projects wherein bookings are not been proper. I have seen that they have given the extension also quickly. They don't trouble the projects where there is 100% acceptance from the allottees also that yes, project can be extended, because booking ही नहीं है तो वो project कहाँ से complete करेंगे. So there are genuine circumstances where RERA has been very lenient.
And the Form 3 updation is a period updation. Form 3.
Form 3 needs to be uploaded quarterly, but if the limit is there, till now they have not enabled a separate portal. वो लोग एक separate website लाने वाले हैं, but अब तक वो activate नहीं हुआ. So till that time, you have to upload once Form 3. अगर उसमें limit expire नहीं हुआ, तब तक दूसरा Form 3 करने का जरूरत नहीं है. No need to obtain another Form 3 because limit is there. Why to obtain another Form 3? So yes, Form 3 can be obtained once, and then after the limit is expired, you can obtain another Form 3. But yes, Form 1 and 2, ये आपको लेना पड़ेगा quarterly, because Form 1 is related to progress. So it certifies the progress of the project.
So limit जो you are saying is the estimated cost to be incurred. The limit which you are saying.
No, the net amount that can be withdrawn from bank account. Last amount.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other participant want to ask some question? I think आदित्य जी ने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया, तो No. One more question from Suhas Kelkarji. I have come across a case where the bank is issued checkbook for 70% account also.
Then it is very good that 70% is you should pay promoter. Why you are taking into 30%? You have to spend it from 70%. Some banks, see, there are many banks, I don't remember exactly, but many banks are not even having this facility of RERA. So now slowly they will have master 70% and 30. So if 70 का तो है अगर checkbook, तो 30 में transfer करने का क्या जरूरत है? 70 से directly खर्चा करो to avoid confusion. And if it is there is no consensus, then you have to mention it in your certificate that again and again is been doing, because ultimately, see, it is not, it should not be cumbersome for us also to issue certificate. How many trail we will do कि ये account से इधर जा रहा है, इधर से किधर जा रहा है? It is very impossible for us also to certify in this scenario. So if 70% is having checkbook, then he should directly, तो proper हो जाएगा ना. 30% को हम देखेंगे भी नहीं. अगर 70 से ही जा रहा है, तो 70 में ही हम लोग वहां से कर सर्टिफाई कर देंगे और इजी टास्क हो जाएगा. So why should he take it to 30%?
In your form 5, you had
it's
mentioned you
HDFC.
should mention all details of compliances. So form 3 is not an annual compliance. That's as per what you were saying.
Form 3 is not an annual compliance. It is whenever the limit is
Only the
expired.
amount.
Yes. So limit expire ho gaya, then you have to obtain a new certificate.
So I do not need to mention in form 5 also that form 3 has not been issued and I just issuing the form 5.
No. You have to check the limit. Yes, in form 3, what discrepancy will come? That he has not obtained the form 3 and still withdrawn from the bank accounts.
And in case of like you have mentioned that you get an additional FSI, like first permission was for 7 floors. Now it has got for 10 floors. So we have to revise the cost in form 3. So through form 3.
Yes.
And
correct. Estimated cost engineer देगा और कंस्ट्रक्शन का उसके हिसाब से वही चेंज होगा. FSI के लिए वही ज्यादा हिट होगा. तो अगर कंस्ट्रक्शन उसने दिया तो अपने सर्टिफिकेट में आएगा. Otherwise we are not nowhere we are about to comment on estimated cost because we cannot certify that ever.
Correct. So form 3 you'll have to revise the cost through form 3 only. Issuing fresh form 3.
Yeah.
Another question from Anjali Ghatkar. In one case, I have seen form 3 is issued quarterly.
It is fine. It is a CA brother is earning income for issuing certificates, and he's even the compliance of the project is good. No, that means the promoter is willing to obtain that certificate quarterly. So it is very fine that, see, anything done additionally is good for the project. But what is the factual position? You should understand that.
Actually, the original interpretation of quarterly update was issue of form 3 quarterly.
But it is a point of it is of no use because the limit है तो क्यों हम लोग वापस issue करेंगे? Even the banks are not asking. SBI had observed that they are very particular, so they ask form 3 जैसे वो लोग limit set करके रखते हैं उस system में and limit जैसे तो further withdrawal stop कर देते. तो अगर banks को ही नहीं चाहिए तो हम लोग भी certify उस हिसाब से ही देंगे ना. And unnecessarily there is no requirement of obtaining form 3 again and again. Only the limit when it is expired you have to obtain.
So there's a question, any penal provision this form 5 is issued late from Suhas Kelkar?
And there is no penal provision specific to form 5 till now. But I've seen in many complaints wherein the authority has charged around 1 lakh rupees for not uploading form 5. So I have seen that. So considerable because they have the right to charge up to 5% and 10%. Okay. So वो तो कुछ भी amount charge कर सकते हैं. There should be certain specification. तो क्या है timely होते रहेगा. तो QPR और इसके लिए like WIRC is having such penalty specifications for this not uploading this form. But as of now, there is no specific amount, but it depends on the case-to-case basis.
Gujarat RERA, I think, is more developed or more ahead.
Yes, they have developed a good portal. They
yeah.
certify using digital signature, everything, but they are more strict. More strict than as compared to Maharera, and we are very much blessed that they are not hard on chartered accountants or any professional. This is very good for on our part because considering this sector is very earlier it was unorganized and now we are trying to make it little bit organized, and ultimate aim is to deliver the flats to buyers.
The late issue because their due dates are clashed with income tax due dates. That is the problem. The 29th of December, maybe income tax work is also there during the December. This also in December. And the UD also required for every certificate. So there are a lot of things.
Yes,
so
we had
sometimes
represented.
it get delayed.
That is the issue, but we had represented this to the RERA. Then only they had changed it to 31st December. And but no, we had again requested an extension 31st March, but they didn't give. Rather, actually, it is not for certifying, because as in Act, it is clearly mentioned that it is to be certified within 6 months. So RERA had given an extension for submission. So it is not within the authority limits, but still they had given the extension considering the certain powers and consultation with the government order for COVID extension.
So it can be issued without completing a balance sheet also. Form 5.
Yes. Because Form 5 is only for the bank account.
Correct.
And not for the entire books of accounts.
So last year there was no extension also, actually.
Last year they gave extension till 31st December.
That was for 21. For 20, they are given no extension.
No. For 20, they didn't give any extension. But even though now also people are uploading Form 5 and there are no penalties as such, no amount is being charged, people are uploading Form 5. So they are considering these grievances of the promoters and the chartered accountants also.
Another question from Kalpesh Mehtaji. In Form 3, what are the general comments should be mentioned for safeguards? Any tip?
In Form 3, see, general comments I gave in the slide. It was there, whatever the other exceptions. You can observe, you can see earlier the circular was there, 2017. So with respect to that, we were mentioning the comments. But now all the circular has been broken down and all it has been incorporated in regulations or rules have completely changed. So generally the comment should be relating to what position you have taken. अगर 100 रुपया मैं मेरे सर्टिफिकेट में लिख रहा हूँ तो वो किस बेसिस पे आया है, अगर मैंने उसको एक्चुअल कॉस्ट किसी चीज का अलाउ किया है. सी अभी इस पे डिस्प्यूट है कि सैलरी टू वर्किंग पार्टनर अलाउ करूंगा नहीं करूंगा. He is giving full time, the project partner is giving full time for the project, then whether I will allow it or not allow it for the project. There is no exception और यहाँ पे कई exclusions नहीं है. So land cost और construction जो specify है लेकिन it is inclusive. तो यहाँ पे जो भी हम लोग ऐसी पोजीशन जो ले रहे हैं वो कमेंट्स और ऑब्जर्वेशंस हमारे फॉर्म 3 में आएगा. अगर क्योंकि डिफरेंट कॉस्ट आएगा, कुछ अलग आएगा जो डिस्प्यूटेबल कॉस्ट है. So whatever position you are taking, you have to mention. अभी लैंड कॉस्ट में जनरली ASR का इशू होता है. जो ASR है कि अगर लैंड कॉस्ट परचेस कॉस्ट एक्चुअल में तो ज्यादा ही होगा आज के डेट पे और ASR कम है. बट यस, रेरा ने फैक्चुअली रूल्स में है वही है दैट यू हैव टू मेंशन द ASR वैल्यू एंड अप टू द ASR वैल्यू. अभी आज 1 लाख रुपया खर्चा किया, लेकिन ASR वैल्यू मेरा 5 करोड़ है तो एक जो खर्चा होते जाएगा मेरा तभी मेरा एक्चुअल कॉस्ट में आएगा. ASR एस्टिमेटेड में 5 करोड़ है. बट if your actual cost incurred is more, then I don't think so that you should include that entire cost. You should rather give a breakage of cost. मतलब थोड़े थोड़े माइलस्टोन के बाद वो कॉस्ट अलाउ. क्या है, रेरा का एक ही माइंडसेट है कि पहले दिन पे पूरा लैंड कॉस्ट कैसे विड्रॉ करने देगी. अगर वो 5 साल में प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट हो रहा है, why should I allow him to withdraw the entire cost of land cost? So accordingly, you should apply certain this intellectual and professional skepticism while issuing the certificate. Yes, Girish sir.
Girish ji, you can ask question. Girish ji.
Yes, sir. Suhas sir, who reads the comment or qualifications? It is basically in Form 5, if you will mention the comments, it can be read by the public also, because it is available for download on the website. And Form 3, As of now, it is in the hands of the RERA authorities. It is not available for public. But if the disputes are there, अगर complaint में challenge हुआ या फिर बहुत सारे association of allottees अगर together गए और अगर direct forensic audit का demand हो रहा है, so then these forms will play an important role. Even in case of section 7, अगर developer नहीं हो रहा है, bankrupt हो गया, IBC है, and the new developer, so they have very well mentioned that a designated panel will be appointed out of the existing consultants. So or जो chartered accountant है, जो architect है, engineer, they will play an important role. Means of finance table can be comparable with data provided to lender or financier. As in what data? Because it is an overview, not the specific details to be. Financier को तो बहुत डिटेल में जाते हैं. इसमें रेरा क्या, इसका इंटेंशन क्या है? कोई भी सर्टिफिकेट लूंगा, उसमें दिखेगा कि ये प्रोजेक्ट वायबल था कि नहीं राइट फ्रॉम बिगिनिंग. व्हाट वाज द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ द प्रमोटर बिफोर स्टार्टिंग, कि एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट इतना क्या है, फंड्स है, कहां से अरेंज करने वाला था. That is the only thing this certificate target. It cannot give you the detailed position. No promoter can give कि कितना own funds लाएगा, कितना लोन लगेगा उसको. बाद में at a different stage, mid stage पे उसको actual position पता चलेगा. Many to take last mile finding from stress fund SBI. So अगर stuck हो गया तो last mile finding इसके लिए तो बोलते हैं.
So there was one more question, that what area is to be specified in table of sold and unsold inventory, because sometimes area as per municipal plan approved and agreement for sale differs.
Area as per municipal plan approved and agreement for sale differ. Then there is violation of the agreement. Rule 10 का violation है, because
Correct.
it is compulsory that carpet area needs to be mentioned as
RERA
per the
carpet.
RERA carpet. So first of all, there is a difference in the violation of the rule. For your safety, take a certified it from the architect. That's it. Whatever, see, for these things which chartered accountant don't understand, they are not responsible. So we have to be dependent, use of other auditors' work. That's it. Auditors' experts' work. Salary paid to working partners should be considered as cost of the project or not. So it depends. If you want to allow, you have to give the this disclaimer. But because there is salary on-site workers directly related to the project. अगर उसमें है multiple projects है, एक ही कंपनी में multiple projects है, तो उस हिसाब से proportionate भी करना पड़ेगा, वो भी देखना पड़ेगा. So it depends. अगर उस हिसाब से उसने उस प्रोजेक्ट से कितना ले रहा है, क्या विड्रॉ कर रहा है, और सारा चीज है. अगर तुम लोगों को लग रहा है ऐसे कोई डिफरेंट नहीं, अगर डिसअलाउ किया तो डिसअलाउ लिखो कि मैंने नहीं दिया, लेकिन कोई भी ऐसा कंपल्शन नहीं है. देयर इज नो रूल इन रूल दैट इज नॉट मेंशन. इट इज इंक्लूसिव वेर इन यहाँ ये सारा चीज है. और अगर तुम लोग देखोगे फॉर्म 3 को बाइफरकेट करोगे टोटली, तो उसमें हर एलिमेंट अलग अलग है, और बाद में एक्सेट्रा भी, दैट यस दिस कैन इंक्लूड अदर आइटम्स ऑल्सो. So it depends. If mostly the salary should be, you cannot get a proper idea कि वो promoter कितना devote कर रहा है, वो क्या actual इसमें नहीं जा रहा है. So उस हिसाब से आप अपना reservation, you reserve your comment and you mention the details.
So just a brief on compliance with standards of auditing, as formats given by institute are very different from the form specified by RERA. Form 5 reports and audit reports and certification के लिए अलग format दिया है institute ने हमारे. So
yes. So as of now, since we are certifying this, we have to follow the regulation and the form this mentioned. Even if you will observe form 5, they have used that as per prescribed records and register. So there is nothing prescribed as such what is record and register. RERA ने बोला कि books of account करो. In regulation, they have inserted कि books of accounts mentioned. But in form as per prescribed books of accounts क्या है वो नहीं. So certain that form is still there is a debate. It is an audit, it is a certificate. So mostly it is certification rather than an audit.
हॅलो आदित्य, अंजली बोलते. मला फक्त एकच प्रश्न होता. इन केस ऑफ अनसोल्ड इन्व्हेंटरी जे आपण रेरा रेडी रेकनर रेट प्रमाणे जे मल्टिप्लिकेशन करतो त्याच्यामध्ये पार्किंग चार्जेस वगैरे पण इन्क्लूड करायचे की काय करायचं अनसोल्ड इन्व्हेंटरी व्हॅल्युएशन मध्ये?
The agreement value, if total agreement value is the value which is taken for in the agreement and on which the stamp duty is also paid. So RR value and agreement. So parking charges are included in that total value.
नाही, अनसोल्ड इन्व्हेंटरीच्या केस मध्ये काय?
Unsold inventory is on the basis of RR value as on date.
Okay.
So RR value and the area. So that needs to be taken in the case of unsold inventory.
कार्पेट एरिया की बिल्ट अप एरिया, त्याच्यामध्ये पण पुन्हा कन्फ्युजन.
RERA carpet.
RERA
RERA never talks about built up area.
अच्छा.
It is only carpet area.
Okay, so there we have to consider only ready reckoner rate and carpet area multiplication. That's it?
Yes.
ओके. आणि सोल्ड इन्व्हेंटरीच्या केसमध्ये मग आपण जे सगळे चार्जेस कलेक्टेबल असेल की म्हणजे पार्किंग चार्जेस आहेत किंवा व्हॉट एव्हर इन द नेम दे आर पुटिंग इन द एग्रीमेंट, ऑल दोज नीड्स टू बी कन्सिडर.
Yeah. So that there, whichever are not pass through charges and in the income of the developer, revenue of the developer, that needs to be considered.
Okay. Fine.
Maintenance cost would be passed through or actual income also sometimes.
Sorry?
Maintenance income.
It is a pass through. They have mentioned that in the act also, that separate records need to be submitted. In the rules also, they have given that separate records at the time of formation of society to the association of allottees. So maintenance is a pass through. It cannot be considered in the value of the agreement. It is pure carpet, RERA carpet area. RERA carpet has been defined. They have the calculation also. There is a proper circular wherein how to calculate RERA carpet area. It is properly mentioned, and you don't have to take the headache of it. You just have to take it certified from the architect, and he will give you. So you just have to include that.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Then how to file complaint if you want to file a complaint against the builder with RERA?
How to file complaint?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the online application, we have a separate portal. We have 3 different things. That is complaint, online application through that. And then we have conciliation, we have tribunal. So before, whenever you file a complaint, on the first day of the hearing, they ask both the parties that whether you want to go for conciliation or not. If you will say for conciliation, they will direct you to the conciliation. And if you will say no, then there will be process of hearing. But it takes around 4 to 5 months to conduct the first hearing. So there is considerable delay also because there is a lot of complaints are being filed. So it is preferable for conciliation, and the orders passed in conciliation are not appealable because it is like a settlement. So these things are being taken care of, and online they have the user manual online. Whenever you log in, at that time there is a user manual to file the complaint, but you have to file a convenience document also. So in that case, it is not more, the convenience document is whatever the document you will file out of the relevant 20 pages it should not be more than 20 pages. It should be called as a convenience document, so that RERA will ease to understand the quickly, and the speed of processing will be quickly. So you need to take care of that before the first hearing. You should have the convenience document with you. In many agreements, the builder collects society charges, transformation charges. Some of it not fully passed through. Now this depends. These charges, those are, see, transformer charges, those are charges which are not passed through. We understand that, and we have to include it in the agreement value. Those are not, if those are the income revenue of the developer, then it cannot be passed through. Whenever it is passed through, we have to obtain the association of allottees. We have to obtain a separate account for that, separate books of accounts for that. Whether he will be able to give it. If he is not able to give it, then it will be considered as the income of the developer. So it will be considered as agreement. So in this case also, many of them, these charges are subject. Separate GST rate is applicable. There is an advance ruling also that if it many argued that it should be considered in the agreement value. But here the issue is that if agreement value is considered, whichever is mentioned in the agreement on the index 2. So that is considered as the agreement value. So in that, if he is giving the full package, so that there will be the agreement value mentioned, excluding the whatever stamp duty charges and everything, pass through charges, जो भी आएगा वो agreement value mention करना पड़ेगा. And you just have to mention that yes, I have taken a stand that this income is included in the unit.
So the last question from me, there's a deficiency of service in providing maintenance service within the 2 years period. Advanced maintenance he has taken. So we can go to RERA or you have to go to consumer court to complain if at all we need to.
Sorry, deficiency
of service during maintenance period. He has collected 2 years advance, the builder, and now he's not maintaining the property properly.
Okay.
Or he's not paying the dues of the housekeeping or security. There's some issues. So
okay.
We
so your
complain.
If
complain, we can go to RERA or to consumer court.
See, in between RERA and consumer forum, we have seen that consumer forum is giving quick decisions also, but in RERA, see, such matters are maintenance and related matters are not yet been challenged. Till the time people are challenged for interest compensation and the non-completion of the project on time. So right now we haven't seen the cases relating to defect liability. That is an important thing, that for 5 years he has to maintain the project. He has to. There is a defect liability period.
Sure.
And once the society is being handover, if society is being handover, then the maintenance and everything is on the society. If he is still collecting the maintenance from the society, then you can go to RERA. But I don't think so that that process itself is time consuming. So it is not advisable for such issues to go to RERA, because they are concentrating on the completion of the project. So most important is completion. The crux of the act is buyer should get the unit. If that is being challenged, then yes, the RERA will definitely be held. But promoter disputes, many co-promoters going to RERA is straight away rejecting that because it is a civil dispute. So such things, it is complete that any aggrieved person having the interest in the project can go to the RERA.
Because we have got received BCC, building completion certificate we have got, but in the defect period he is not saying no, I will not do this, but he's not doing also. I will do, but he's not rectifying the defects.
Yeah, but once the OC is obtained, RERA is slightly out of the picture, and there is because the architect has issued a fit for occupancy and he is not maintenance. For that purpose, there won't be any benefit. Yes, you can go for conveyance. Definitely, you can go for conveyance.
Conveyance is still pending.
Yes, till the time he has to update that. But after the society is handed over, then everything is been done away with, and you have been given. He should hand over the society. Yes, you can go for that also. That he has hand over, not have, because you can take the maintenance and you can carry out the maintenance. Because within 3 months from obtaining OC, he has to compulsory do the conveyance and everything. And formation तो 51% booking हो गया तो तभी करना है. तो मतलब वो status of formation जो tab है website पे वो खाली होगा अभी.
खाली है.
सोसाइटी नहीं.
सोसाइटी तो बन गई है, मगर सोसाइटी को हैंड ओवर भी मतलब कर दिया है.
हैंड ओवर,
मगर डिफेक्ट उसका लाइबिलिटी पीरियड है वो.
तो ये केस में कुछ भी नहीं होगा. I don't think so. It will be fruitful.
But never he has said that I'll not do this. We have raised a query. This is pending. He is telling us we'll do. But
yeah, it is the common I mean to say, all developers, we will hear the same thing. They will never say no.
When once he has told no, we can go to RERA, but he has never said no.
Correct.
Thank you.
I think very good question and answer session. You explained so well. On behalf of Andheri Oshiwara Study Circle, I give Aditya Zantye ji a very thank you for giving this lecture and the providing such information in such a simple way. And the such explanation is very simple, so everybody is understanding. We will continue in future also your sessions whenever we have the physical meetings and all this. One more announcement to all the participant, that the fees for the financial year 22-23, we are charging 1,500 for the old members and for 2,000 rupees for the new members. We will issue a circular or WhatsApp message also regarding this. Deepak, I think Deepak is traveling, so he lost the connection and all this. So any other announcement, Aditya?
Next week already it has been announced. Next week program, AGM and program next week.
Yeah, next on Sunday we have the AGM and the program on the statutory bank audits also. So that will also circulated on the WhatsApp message. So I request all the members to give the their entry in the Google form also, so we can arrange the food and everything. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya ji.